Hi friends, happy Wednesday. Excuse me, I'm Nancy Thompson, an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator here in Skaneateles, New York, and I welcome you to my craft studio. I love sharing creative ideas that inspire you to go into your craft area and create so you can share them with others. So we make the world a kinder place. So let me just make sure my phone is muted and everything else here. Okay, so if you're new to my channel, come on in and say hello. Let me know where you're joining from and subscribe to my newsletter because that's where you get the PDFs. Not every single video has a PDF, but that's where I share my PDFs for what I share here online. So you have an easy way to remember to use them, okay? Because they're simple and ideas that you can recreate and use over and over again. So today is all about sketches today. So let me just put my comments on so I can see if anybody's joining. I totally forgot to do that because I'm extremely late today. I didn't know what to make today, so I finally found, I was cruising Pinterest and found a card sketch that I thought would be really easy and fun to create with today. So let's get started. Hello, Shirley. Welcome. Okay. And all of these items can be, let's get rid of that. All of these should still be in the online store. So that's where you can go shopping for them, okay? We're going to use one of my favorite designer papers, well, in stamp set too. I love this stamp set. I use it a lot. It's the With You in Mind. It's a $1 Million Achiever set by Julie Davison. And I just love using it. And I have a feeling it's going to retire, but I can't say for sure certain, okay? Because it's been around a while. So if you don't have this, go grab it while you can, okay? Because it is on low inventory. So speaking of low inventory, we are nearing the end of our catalog. So you want to make sure if there's things that you want, the annual and the mini catalog, if there are items you want in it, you really need to go and grab them now before they are gone and you're like, oh, why didn't I get that earlier, okay? So go shop the online store and check things out, okay? Okay, so here is the Perennial Lavender Paper, the stamp set and die that went with this. Retired last year, okay? But they kept the designer paper around. And just because the stamp set is gone doesn't mean that you can't use it. And you're going to see today with this card sketch that you can use it, okay? And we just used it with last week with the cross card, all right? So it's got pretty peacock and the Highland heathers and gorgeous grape and fresh freesia. I'm trying to make room here to get this all across. What else is in here? The crumb cake. I love this pattern here. And let's see. Let's go here. I didn't rearrange this sooner. Okay, I love this Highland heather and a little bit of hint of gorgeous grape with the white in there, and I love this one too. Okay, what's on the back side of this? And this one's gorgeous. We're going to use this paper today along with this one today, okay? Okay, so that's the Perennial Lavender Paper and this With You in Mind. And we're also using, I didn't grab the bundle. It is, what is it called? Let me see if I can grab it. My office is a little bit of a disaster at the moment. I've had club and I'm getting ready for crafters tea. Okay, here, this one. I should remember this, but there's so many names to remember. We're using this one, the dies in here, the Fragrant Layers dies, for some flowers, for some embellishments, okay? All right, so, and I've done lots of die cutting. I love to, just die cut away. And then I have lots of time to play. Okay, card sketch journal. If you don't know about this, you really need one because this is a great way. We're slowly starting to build. I have more I need to put back in here, okay? When I do a card sketch, I am adding it to my journal so I can go back and say, okay, let's remake this one again, okay? So go to Amazon.com just simply put the title in, Card Sketch Journal for Paper Crafters, and you should see this come up for me, okay? It's $11.99 currently. I will be raising the price because that was my introductory price to get people excited about it, but we'll be going up to $13.99 shortly, okay? So go grab yours while you can. There's lots of space for you to keep track of your measurements. There's a great inspiration message at the top to kind of get you inspired, okay? Maybe you just are having a down day. Go through and read some of the inspirational messages to kind of give you a lift, okay? All right, so here's today's sketch, all right? And what I simply have done, I drew in my lines, and I need to start getting my colored pencils out. And this actually, I'm gonna mat, so I'm gonna just kind of put a heavier line around this, okay? So I know that I want this matted. So this is a 2x3" piece of, it could be whatever color you want. We're gonna put a greeting on this 2x3" piece today. All right, and then I have, we have another mat back here that's 4 inches by 5 1/4. And then we have some designer strips on here that are 1 inch designer strips by 3 3/4. Okay. So let's do this. So you can kind of see, you know, just kind of draw what you need to emphasize, you know, so you can tell what the sketch should be. And it's all open to interpretation, okay? I know these are 1 inch by 3 3/4. And you can change the dimensions around to what you feel, okay? Okay, so hi Carol and Wendy and DMG. Okay, I'm trying, Darlene. Okay, I think that's right. Okay, so there's the card sketch journal. So today's card, we're going to start out with my first sample. I had, what did I do? I had it exact, okay? And you just need to, I decided to add in a piece of basic white because it was too hard to get like my strips to centered on this, okay, to get them centered on here, and they looked even, and that bothers me, okay? So today we are going to we're going to mount them on a piece of basic white just to I can put them right to the edge, and then I can trim off any excess because this is what's going to layer right onto here, okay? Even though my sketch doesn't show that, this is where the sketch shows my strips of designer paper, all right? Hopefully, as we get going, you're going to see it, okay? Okay, so because I'm... hi, Joan and Charlotte, welcome. So I'm going to just simply, because we're covering this whole piece of cardstock, we're just going to go and add some liquid glue, okay? All over. And I had a piece of paper here, grid paper, just to kind of keep my desktop clean here. Okay, so we are going to start out with this design first, and I'm going to just try to get it totally straight. I think your first one's the hardest. You know, just as long as your cardstock's straight that you're applying this to. It should work out fine. And we're going to just butt them right up against each other. All right. And then just work our way up to the top. You could, because these are longer than what I need, you could just go completely over it. Go past each side as well. Okay. Can you see that? I can just go over, and hopefully this is going to work out. Maybe I meant to make one a little bit wider. What did I do? We're just going to trim that off, okay? Okay. I think I meant to make one of these strips a little bit wider so it would work out mathematic-wise, because I did it landscape way to begin with. So let's trim these off first so we can put it in our trimmer and trim it, okay? Let's do this. So we're just trimming off the excess here. All right, this is going to make it a little bit shorter than I wanted to. 5 inches. It's going to be 5 inches tall instead of 5 1/8. So it's a 1/8. I should have made one of these a little bit wider, two like a 1/16 of an inch wider. Okay, so I think we're done with that. Let me move these scraps out of the way. I'm going to be all glue here. Okay, so we're going to adhere this onto here. It'll just make a little bit wider there. Maybe we'll trim a 1/8 off. And then we'll center. Let's trim our 1/8 off. There we go. Now this will have a nice border around it, so we're going to do that. Okay. Yeah, I remember you, Joan. There we go. Okay, so we have some Lost Lagoon right here, and cardstock. I'm going to just fold that in half, and I need a block because we need to. And then we're going to mount this with some dimensionals. Okay, so so this ended up being, let's see, 5 1/8 by 4 inches. Okay, and it's still okay. It doesn't have to be perfectly rectangle, you know, equal distance all the way around. So it's going to be narrower on the sides and a little bit more room top to bottom. So as long as you center it, you're going to be fine. And my folding is off, so let's fix that. There we go. Okay, see the difference? So it's totally fine to have a little bit more here, top to bottom, than it is, and this is crooked. I'm not having a good day today. Okay. There we go. Okay, so what else are we going to do? We are going to add our 2 inch by 3 inch piece, and we're going to layer it onto a piece of Lost Lagoon that is 2 1/8 by 3 1/8. And I was going to do Happy Birthday, but it's not going to fit with the directions. So we are going to use the thank you out of here instead. Okay, and what color am I using? Here we go. Pretty Peacock. So if you haven't heard the news, our new ink colors are going to be coming out with a new styled ink pad, and I will be sharing more as Stampin' Up! Releases more information to us regarding that. Okay, so just the ink color ink pads are going to be coming out with they're going to be a magnetized ink pad. Okay, there we go. There, we got a nice pretty thank you there. And let's layer this onto here. Okay. And then we're going to add some dimensionals to this right here. Let's do that. Isn't this like a simple sketch so far? Great way, because these are no more than 1 inch strips. A great way to use up some of that scrap that you have hanging around. Okay, so we're going to just add this onto here. And then we're going to pull out some of our flowers. We're going to use Pretty Peacock. Grab one of these little Lost Lagoons. All right. And then let's use a Lost Lagoon branch here. So let's adhere this on here first. There we go. And then we'll put this onto our tag here, our label. Just kind of pop it right here. Got to be careful of those perforations in there, because they the liquid glue likes to kind of ooze right out of them. There we go. Whoops. See, the glue oozes out and sticks to your fingers. Okay, so let's finish this up with an embellishment, the card front anyways. We gotta do the inside. So let's use, these are from the January mini catalog. They're called Sparkle Dots Essentials, and I think these are pretty peacock ones. So we're gonna use these right here. Here we go. I'm gonna go with this big one. I'm gonna get a lot of sparkle in there. Isn't that pretty? Look at that. Little sliver of stuff there. And then let's add a linen bow, okay? I don't know, linen thread just seems to go with this paper to me. Glue dot. Okay. Let's see. Let's do this. Let's just add a linen bow here. It just goes like it's natural. Just brings a little bit more warmth into your card. Okay, let's finish the inside. We're going to use 4 inches by 5 1/4, and let's add a little bit of designer paper here at the bottom just to kind of offset a little bit. I'm not going to mat it. we're going to just go real simple today. Okay, make sure that's straight along the edge. Whoops, that slid on me. There we go. Okay, let me know in the comments if you're up for, because I pulled out some other designer paper and didn't have a chance to, I wonder if we could put this. Is that long enough? It is. Let's go with this. Let's add this onto here. I pulled out another package of designer paper. Are you ready to do some Stampin' on the Flash? We maybe make this card in another collection of paper. If so, put a message in the comments pretty quickly because we are almost done here, okay? I don't have anything cut or anything like that. So if you're game for some Stampin' on the Fly, we'll pull it out. I have it kind of like, I have got colored cardstock out and the designer paper, but that's about it. Okay, let's add this to the inside. And sometimes it's okay not to layer. If I were to layer this, I would have added Pretty Peacock as to mat this and then put it inside. But I'm just gonna go simple, okay? Very simple. So now we got a nice, beautiful, simple thank you card. So let's do this. Here we go. Add this on. So I'm trying to come up with some different style thank you notes for my daughter. So as she's needs some thank you notes for her upcoming wedding, I figured this would be a good way for her to audition them. So here we go. Let's just trim this a little bit. And there's our card. Wasn't that easy? Our card sketch anyways. Okay, let me know. Pretty. It's a great game. Okay, thanks, Joan. Darlene, I think it's Darlene. Yes, and Wendy. Okay, let me show you my other. So as you're thinking about that card sketch, okay, remember? Let's look at the card sketch again. So I got to write in measurements and stuff like that. Maybe, and definitely get some colored pencils. But I need to do that. Maybe the supplies I used. But so that's pretty much the card sketch right there. Okay. And you could write on there greeting or whatever it needs for you to kind of be able to easily recreate this again. So let's look at the card sketch a different way. What if we turned it this way, right? So kind of think outside the box. So look at this right here. So kind of just move my greeting up to the top versus down towards the bottom. Same idea, flower, linen thread, and everything else. Okay, so you can easily, same concept, and you have a totally different looking card, I think. All right. Okay, let's look at it in a different color. So here we go. I had to play around because see, this is what I did when I directly applied the designer paper to the basic white there. That was larger. So I think it helps when you add it to the white cardstock, like what we did, that you want that designer paper be the same size. I think it just helps it with your you know, getting it eyeballed. This one's a little bit more up to the top in here, okay? All right, so you can use all kinds of, you know, just kind of put your papers together. You could even, like, this one could have added some greens in, but I was kind of going with the purpley look for that one. So, okay, let's look at, I thought it'd be fun because I'm hoping to use this paper for Friday, okay? So let's pull this out. This paper right here. We've got some balmy blue, some peach pie. Oh, I didn't get a yellow. I don't know what the yellow is. Some petal pink, right? No, pretty in pink. Summer sky, right? Shy shamrock. That's a hard one to say. And then this one, Donna. Oh, okay, Donna. Okay, Donna. All right. I'm gonna have to memorize that. I'm glad you you let me know. Okay, so those are those colors. Let's look to see what the yellow is in here. All right. Do I have that? Lemon lolly. Okay, but first let's pull out some paper. We have to have 1-inch strips, okay? So let's just get a variety of cardstock here, okay? And we want to go landscape mode or portrait, okay? So kind of start thinking about that. And maybe I always like to start with my scraps first, okay? So start with that so you're utilizing everything. So I think we need that one. Here's another one. I don't think we'll go with that. So we have, all right, we need this one. Okay, I think I have pretty much all of it. So let's see. Okay. Hi, Debbie, welcome. So let's go landscape because I think we can make them a little bit wider and see more of the design. All right, so let's go landscape. So let's pull in our trimmer and let's see if this one's long enough. Okay, we got one. Let's do a 1-inch strip here. Okay. There's 2. I don't think we can use that one. Let's do another one here. We only need, if we're going landscape, we only need 4 designs. So, but I'm not sure which 4 designs we want until we put it all together. Okay, I've got that. We've got that. Do we have the eggs? I don't think we do. Let's do an egg. Okay, we got the egg. And we need the stripe. Stripe might be good to offset stuff. Okay, there's the stripe. And let's see. I like the dark here. These dark flowers in between. Hang on. I need to move stuff so you guys can see and help me make a good decision here. Okay, let's maybe start putting some of these in line here. Yeah, I don't like that. That might look cool. That and that. Maybe the egg. And what else we got? Maybe just like that. That might look good. Flip side. I think I like, what's on the flip side of this? No, not that. That's that. Okay, I think this. Or that. Okay, then we've got the 1-inch. Let's just, maybe we go like that. Okay. This is how designing works, right? All right, flip side is the brown. We've got the blue. Should we do another row of the plaid? Okay, let's start with these three, and then we can kind of decide where to go after that, okay? So we're gonna use, I know I pulled out some paper, 3 7/8 by 5 1/8. So it's not quite 4 inches, because these are 1-inch strips. So this is gonna work out great. Okay, let's add this. Anybody got any suggestions? Do you like my my line here? I mean, we could even just do repeat the flowers again. Might be pretty as well, and not have it so confusing, you know. Too busy, I guess, is the word I might want to say. Let's get this near the edge, because we're doing completely covering this. We want to make sure it does stick. I'm just going to go over the edge just a tiny bit. I'm going to make sure it's flat along there. And let's just go and trim this, because I think we want to use that again. Let's just bump this right up against there. Hopefully we're going to have enough space. I might need to cut a little bit wider strip, but maybe not. No, it'll be wide enough. Okay, so we've got that. Yeah, let's just go with the floral, and then we'll do this. Okay, feels like my plaid is crooked, but it's meant to be like that, right? Okay, so we're gonna just go and trim the back side of this. And thanks, Colleen. Let's do this. And safe travels home, Colleen. Okay. So the next question is, what are we going to mat it on? I almost kind of like the green. Just makes it all pop, right? The green, the Shy Shamrock, the tongue twister, right? If we mount it on that, I'm thinking the balmy blue for a card base. I think that looks good. So let's go with that. So let's grab our paper here. Okay. And we're going to do a 4-inch by 5 1/4. We got 4 inches by 5 1/4. This should work. Yep, perfect. And then we need 5 1/2 scored at 4 1/4. There we go. Okay, so let's see how this is going to work out. We still got to, oh, I do have another thing. Okay, so let's mount these two. So now we have to decide, what do we layer our greeting on? So we got to just figure out what to layer our greeting on. That looks good. Okay, dimensionals are here. 2, 3, 4. There we go. So it doesn't really look like an Easter card, right? I think we could definitely do this as a happy birthday. Okay, so let's audition cardstock. We could go with the Pretty in Pink, but there's not too much of that, so maybe the Peach Pie. let me grab, see if I got a smaller piece of peach pie here. Okay, here we go. Let's move that there. So this needs to be 3 1/8 by 2 1/8. Let's see how this looks. Okay, I think that'll work. So let's go with that. We're gonna make this a birthday card. So what color ink? We need to clean my stamp because I'm not sure what color's on here. Does your chamois look like this? Maybe the Shy Shamrock. What do you think? Peach pie. Okay, good. We're thinking alike here, Joan. Okay, so let's grab some Shy Shamrock. Okay. Here we go. If only you could see the dust behind me. Okay. Let's ink this up. Remember, tappy motion. If you're seeing ink, which you get a little bit, but if you're seeing it on your block, you definitely are pressing way too hard on your ink pad. There we go. Oh yeah, I think that'll look pretty. Okay, so we're gonna accessorize it with, I have something here. These, which I think are out of stock, but I still have a ton here to use up because I haven't been using them. So these are the, I think they'll be back in stock. They're the Easter time mix and match. So here's these fun things here, die cuts. Okay, nothing's jumping out at me there, but yeah. Do you like the Shy Shamrock ink there? I don't know. Let's see what's here that we can use. Maybe just a butterfly. You could just kind of add that. I think that might be cute. These two little butterflies. Put one there and one up there. I think that will be nice. So let's adhere this. Okay. Oh, and these are, what are these called? These are the Softest Spring Mix and Match Puffy stickers. Okay. They're a little bit thick, but not overly thick. I think they'd go through the mail okay. They're soft. They're really squishy. They're about the width of a dimensional, but firmer. Okay. So you do want to be a little strategic if you're mailing it. Okay. Maybe make sure it's up to the top where the machines aren't going to hit it, or put a piece of scrap cardstock or something across the top. So let's do this, and we're going to grab this. So we need some dimensionals underneath. We do. So let's add a couple mini dimensionals, which I have here somewheres. Need a bigger desk. Here we go. We've got some mini dimensionals here. So let's just put a couple here on the outer edges to help stabilize that butterfly a little bit, because it's not going to all sit on the card front. Here we go. And then we'll add this other little one right up there. Okay, there we go. But let's take it one more stop, one more notch further, okay? Yeah, I don't like those. I think, what do we need? I don't know what color these are. Well, kind of looking through my accessories. I think those would look okay there. so let's grab a few of these. Grab, take your pick tool. I can't talk today. All right, let's take your pick tool. Okay, it's got a little bit of putty on the end, so we can grab these, and we're gonna just put a few of these right here, just to give it a little bit more bling here. There we go. Okay, what do you think? Does that look good? How's that for stamping on the fly? I guess that's not too bad. That's our second card in about a half an hour, 45 minutes, right? All right, so, and then I'll finish up the inside with something. Let's see, let's grab a piece of white. I love pre-cutting some of my basic white, and I label it. I just put it in a clear envelope pack, so it is so easy to grab an inside mat and make this card go so much faster. Let's go with these. All right, let's go put that on the bottom, and we will call it good. Now, I would not use, this cardstock is pretty heavy for an envelope, so I'll browse around to see, you know, what other designer paper I have to use for it. That kind of will pick up some of these colors. I don't know if I have the in colors in the in color designer paper or not. I think I just got the one. Okay, so let's lay this into here, and voila, we have another easy birthday card that's all ready to go. So, okay, so springy. Thanks, Wendy. Oh, good. Thank you, Debbie. All right, well, I hope this has inspired you to take that card sketch, and don't be, make sure you have signed up for my newsletter. Subscribe, because that's where you're going to get this card sketch PDF in there. Okay, think about going to Amazon and ordering my card sketch journal. Okay, go to this side so you can see it. Okay, go order the journal to help keep your sketches, whether you see in a catalog or from another creator, whatever. Okay, it's such a great way to, when you're feeling uninspired, to go and just browse through that journal. Even I'm going to start keeping a box. Usually I put my cards somewhere, but I got to start keeping a box so I can I'll probably have to keep several boxes, right? Because I make a lot of cards. But anyways, keep a sample if you want to. All right. So sometimes the visual is what you need to get creative as well. So okay, I like that. I can use up your your DSP. Yep, this is a great way. Using scraps. I love scrappy cards. I could sit and make them all day. And you should see all the scraps from look at my Perennial Lavender packet here. There are a ton of scraps in there. So I could be making scrap cards all day long. Anyways, so, all right. So Friday will be a YouTube live only. It won't be a live on Friday. We're going dress shopping again. So Mary Pat is, that's my daughter. She is getting married in August, and she is anxious to get her dress. We haven't found one yet. So we're going dress shopping again. So wish us luck that we find something that she falls in love with. But anyways, so thank you for joining me. So let me get back to Friday. So Friday, it will be a recorded. I'm going to record it, and it'll play at 3 p.m. All right. Unless I just decide to, go live Friday morning and be done with it, because recording it, I don't know, it takes longer. So much easier to go live than it is to record a video. There's less work. So depending on where I'm at, how much time I have, to get everything ready so I can leave on time, I'll let you know. So thanks so much, everybody. I so appreciate you. And don't forget, if you need supplies, you can go to my website and order there for anything that you need. And we will see you again. Thanks so much.